Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Priya Hasan and welcome to this episode of Chekumuki. Today we'll be talking about Chekumuki about a very special, interesting piece of news, and that is about Anil Menon heading to the ISS. Now, basically today itself on the 14th of July, Anil Menon, he is a space explorer of Indian origin, which you can see from his name. His parents are born to Ukrainian and Indian parents, and he was brought up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he's actually going to go on the Soyuz MS-29 spacecraft with two cosmonauts, Pyotr, Dubrov and Kikina, and they are going to go to the ISS to join the Expedition 74 crew. Every crew that goes on to the ISS gets a certain number. The present one who's there is 74, and then they'll continue at 75. So what's interesting about Anil Menon, which we've actually, so here is the group with which he's going to go, his colleagues with which he'll go. And what's interesting about Anil Menon, which I wanted to focus on, is his interesting career. He's had a very interesting career, basically because he's an emergency medicine physician. He's a physician, aerospace medicine specialist, as well as a colonel in the United States Space Force. So what he actually did is he actually studied neurobiology. He started his career doing neurobiology, and after which he actually went in to do a master's degree in mechanical engineering. Neurobiology was from Harvard, and then he did mechanical engineering at Stanford, and then he is trained in emergency medicine and is a bio-certified in aerospace medicine. After that, he also served at Afghanistan, and he also worked with the Himalayan Rescue Association, providing medical care to climbers on Mount Everest. He worked also with major disasters, for example, the Haiti earthquake as well as the Nepal earthquake. And while he continued his studies, he actually wrote a thesis on medical kits for commercial spacecraft. He later joined SpaceX, where he helped establish the company's medical program and supported preparations for the first human flight missions. Now, he actually, in NASA, when he was with them, he worked as a flight surgeon and part of the Human Health and Performance Directorate. If you remember in our last episode, we also spoke about space radiation and all the effects that it has on human beings. And therefore, what he's basically going to do in his 8-month stint, which he was going to have on the ISS, is one thing, he'd be studying semiconductor crystals, how are they produced in space, because that's important. But more importantly, he'd be also investigating how spaceflight affects blood flow in the human body. He'll be using artificial intelligence, augmented reality to perform ultrasound examinations, with the long-term goal is basically of helping astronauts become less dependent on medical support from the Earth. So here you have a unique case where you have a doctor out in space. Now when he goes out on the ISS, you will have the doctor out in space who will actually make all these studies with which he'll be able to actually assess human health in space, which is very crucial for future missions which we're going to have of human beings on the moon and in Mars and various other locations. So this would be medicine far away from Earth, which he's going to be doing in this 8-month program of his. And so I thought this was a perfect example to show people of how, with a varied career also, you could end up as an astronaut out there and actually study space medicine. And I think this is he's a source of inspiration for all of us, where you could be a space explorer even with such a varied career. And therefore, we wish all the best to Anil Menon for his flight today, and we look forward to the unique results which he'll get from his mission.